This is the Sports Porch, Philadelphia, with your hosts, the Grand Schwabini, Rube, and me, your technical director. Come on, Philly, show us a little Eagles, Flyers, Phillies, and Sixers love. The Philadelphia Sports Porch starts now.
All right, Ruby.
We're live.
We're
live, baby.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us on the Sports Porch Philadelphia. We are here on a pretty lousy Tuesday evening, if you want to call it that. Thanks to our beloved birds who are finding ways to make us miserable. Let me just put it that way.
Should we call it a free fall?
It's a free fall. It's a slide. It's a mudslide. I mean,
it's 3 points or a trend. And maybe we don't go to the Eagles first today. Maybe we call an audible at the line of scrimmage and we talk about perhaps some good news, of which I'm sure you're quite excited about, seeing Mr. Schwarber back in red for the next 5 years.
All right, let's do that first, just to kind of try to survive the pain.
Yeah, yes.
So he is back, Schwarbaum. We will see Schwarbaums probably until the end of that man's career.
Until he's 38?
That's great news.
Yep.
That's great news, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, when we talked about who do we need back or what we need to do, I admit that paying $150 million for a DH, I probably wouldn't have done. I think we got to go change some stuff up. But listen, I'd rather see him hitting 50 home runs for us than somebody else, especially in the National League. So, the leadership is there. It's great. The offensive production's there. 5 years, man, that's a long time in baseball years. That's 500, 600 games.
Right.
So we'll see. But you know what? It's not my money, and as such, I don't have to worry about the money. I just hope that they don't. I hope that they continue to go fill the holes we need to go fill, even with the Schwarber contract, the Turner contract, and of course the Harper contract. What say you?
Well, the good news is, I mean, obviously he wanted to remain in Philadelphia, and they wanted to keep him.
Right.
I know for a fact that they had to go to a 5th year, and they had to go to $30 million a year to keep him. But there were other offers out there. The Orioles gave him the same offer that we gave.
Okay.
So, he turned them down. The Reds, if he wanted to go home to play for the Reds, they offered 5 years, $125 million. Now it's $25 million there, but at the same time, look, if he wanted to do it, he could do it, and
right.
Not be upset about it. So yeah, I'm excited that he's back. I mean, look, with Schwarber back, that pretty much guarantees you that you're going to have offense.
Yeah.
You're going to have offense. And really, with Harper kind of having injuries over the past couple seasons, I mean, I think Schwarber is more dependable on a guy that you can count on.
Mostly healthy.
To stay healthy and to put up big numbers. Look, he's not going to put up the average numbers, but he's going to lead the league in walks or come close to it. For the on-base percentage, he's going to hit the home runs. Actually, really, his average has been better lately. Maybe finish at like 240 or something. And he's the leader in the clubhouse. So I think it was a good move. We'll kind of see what happens next. I'm really interested to see if we will shape the club in other ways. There's talk that they have interest in Ketel Marte to play second base. So I wonder if we do something like that, does that mean it's the end of Stott? Or do you put Stott in like a utility role? But we'll see. We'll see. I don't know what they're going to do. Probably Ranger's gone now at this point. I think they still really want to bring back JT, and I have
Yeah.
a feeling he'll come back because he's only asking for like 2 or 3 years, and I think it's a boys' club there with like Harper and Schwarber and Real Muto. I think he wants, and I'm sure he's happy in Philadelphia with his family. He probably just wants to stay.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
like you said on previous shows, our pitching staff isn't our pitching staff without him. And
Right.
and I think perhaps he's probably the more valuable between the two of them in my eyes.
Yeah.
Uh, we just need, we need bats in the postseason. We need bats in the postseason, and whatever we need to do to get that, I'm all for. Have you heard
Yeah.
anything more on Castellanos? The whole world. I think people who don't even know how to spell baseball know we're shopping Castellanos. So
Right.
what does that do for his market?
I have no idea. I mean, they're going to move him at some point. But the difficulty, I think he still owed $25 million in the last year.
Mhm.
What are you really going to get back? I don't know. They've been talking about him. He says he's been working on playing first base. So if some team wants him to play first base, he can do that. I imagine he'll be off the team. I just don't know how. One thing that's kind of interesting, and I wouldn't be opposed to this, is apparently there's a lot of interest in Strom. And while I think Strom is a pretty darn good pitcher, I mean, boy, has he let us down in the playoffs, So, nobody nobody wants Alvarado because of his medical issues. But I'm okay with keeping Alvarado and letting Strom go just to get like the bad juju out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know how many reliable middle relief pitchers there are out there, and a guy like Strom. And I don't know. I don't know what do you give up in return? If you give him up, what are you getting back? Are you getting back another reliable middle reliever, or perhaps end of the game reliever, setup man? I think if you do that, cool. But he's not a free agent, is he? Strom's not a free agent.
I don't think so.
No. So it's, I don't think we got too much to be able to give up in the bullpen unless we have alternative plans to backfill that. So we'll see. We'll see. I'd like to see Castellanos gone, obviously. I wouldn't mind seeing Bohm go. And
I agree. I'd like to see Harrison Bader come back.
I think everybody would. What do you think is the timeline on that? Do you think Schwarber was number one and all the other dominoes will start falling?
I think Schwarber's one, Real Muto's two, and then they go from there.
Yeah.
But
well, listen,
anyway,
good news. It's a good news Tuesday on an otherwise crappy Tuesday after a Monday night.
I guess you could call it that. Although some of us are still reeling from last night's game.
Well, why don't we get into it?
Okay, so first of all, if you're watching, thank you. If you're watching on X, it's at Philly Porch. If you're watching on YouTube, it's at Philadelphia Sports Porch. And don't forget to click on the subscribe button. We also are going to put this out as a podcast, as we do every night when we're finished, so you can listen to it anytime during the week. You can listen to that on iHeartRadio, Spotify, or really anywhere you get your podcasts. So let's talk Eagles. And Rube, when I show you this picture here, what comes to mind?
If what comes to mind for me is that's a catch on any other day.
Okay, so for those of you who are not watching visually here, I put up a picture of A.J. Brown with the ball in his two hands in the end zone that he dropped that would have put the Bears up 7. I am getting so sick of A.J. Brown. I mean, I know on one hand, it seems like he's our best receiver, but my God, man. I mean, first of all, he seems to make, until this year, he seems to have made those catches all the time, and he's not making those catches anymore. He's also, in my eyes, and tell me if you agree or disagree, it seems
Mhm.
like what he's doing is he is not giving maximum effort. Like for example, the first play of the game where Jalen rolled out and threw a deep ball to him, it just kind of looked like he just sort of like put his hands out, like, he didn't lay out for it. I mean, it certainly could have been caught, that ball. Now all of a sudden it's the first drive and you're 60 yards down the field.
Yeah.
There was another play where he really showed some very lackadaisical blocking for Saquon Barkley, like he just didn't even want to do it. There was another play where they blitzed Hurts, and Hurts just kind of threw it up to him, and he just really didn't run hard for it, and it ended up bouncing just like fairly close to him. And then of course the interception.
That was a
The
hard
old,
throw. It was a tough one. But should
the
have caught
old
it.
business decision. He was looking at the guy who was coming to hit him. And
Mhm.
just like Troy Aikman said, hey, if you're a big time wide receiver, you make that catch.
Mhm.
So I'm getting a little disgusted with him. It seems like he's reached the point where, his disgruntled behavior, it's not just outside of the lines. It's coming into his game performance as well. And right now, look, Jalen is struggling big time, and he needs all the help he can get. So
Dare I say he's poisoned the clubhouse?
yeah,
And
yeah,
it's not good. And coincidentally, all this started around the time he started bitching and complaining all the time.
yeah.
So
After
yeah,
wins,
I'm done with him. You know what I want? I don't know how we do this. We got to go get one of the two receivers from Ohio State, either Tate or Jeremiah Williams, and we got to tell AJ goodbye. As much as I hate to say that, I
right?
think you're right. If we don't see the effort, right, and we may be hypercritical just given that we've lost 3 in a row, and
Mhm.
maybe that's been masked by all the winning historically. Maybe that's the way he's always been, but I wouldn't say he's our best receiver. I'd say Devontae Smith is by far our best receiver. And
Yeah,
let
I
me
think
tell you
so.
something. If we had let Goddard walk away this year,
Mhm.
we'd really be in deep. So I think we got to start looking at who wants to be here and not be here. And if he doesn't want to be here, we got to go. Howie's got to go cook, and that's the bottom
Yeah,
line.
yeah. So I'm just disgusted with him now. Look, I mean, I'm a big Jalen Hurts fan, but we got to talk about last night. It was definitely, at least statistic wise, his worst game as a player in the NFL.
Yep.
And and the other thing about it too, which was kind of concerning, was if you were listening to Troy Aikman's broadcast, he probably said about 4 or 5 times, now look at the progressions. That's not there. You throw it 5 yards, get your 5 yards with Goddard, you know? And either Jalen isn't seeing it or he's just not interested in that and is hoping for a bigger play. But, it doesn't seem, I mean, look, I always get a little peeved when people say that he can't see the field, right? Or he doesn't throw in the middle of the field.
Mhm.
First of all, he does throw in the middle of the field, and we saw how that worked out last night. But
he
no,
for
but
he
really,
forced he forced a lot. Yeah,
but he made some great throws in the middle of the field too.
he did.
Um, but I just sort of look at it like this, and I hate to just always be the guy who's deflecting the blame from Jalen Hurts, but I do know this. I do know that in 2022 and in 2024, Jalen Hurts had zero problem seeing the field. I don't remember during those 2 years, and obviously those are the two Super Bowl years. I don't remember us ever saying during those seasons, he's missing guys wide open.
I thought. Listen, I don't think we were doing this show back in 2022 or 2023 or whatever it was. But
That is true.
actually, I do think that the book on him was he wasn't seeing the field, and it was almost and yes, right. He's played great winning football, but again, some of that last year could have been masked. Right, we weren't throwing the ball great last year. In the playoffs, we did better, but we were having the same debate like, why can't we throw the ball? And people were still complaining. AJ was complaining, and it was masked by an all-time great year by Saquon Barkley. Why would you do anything but run the ball? So it was kind of interesting last night listening to Troy. There was a couple plays where he would show AJ Brown wide open, and Jalen went to the check down. It was like 2 or 3 plays, and we were watching it, and I said, "Yeah, how do you miss that?" I don't know if it's that the rush was getting to him too fast, or if he's not seeing the field well. But yeah, he seems to be regressing as a quarterback this year. Yeah, he's had 1 or 2 really good games. I get it, but overall body of work hasn't been good. And I'll say this: I'll kind of support the recommendation that I made last week, which, hey, I don't think it would be a bad idea for him to have a sprained ankle for a week. And let's see, can it get any worse than it is right now after last night? I don't think it can.
Well,
Why
yes,
not?
it definitely can.
Okay,
Because they're
tell.
playing the worst team in the NFL next week at home, the Raiders. So if he can't light it up against the Raiders next week, that's the worst.
Yeah, but then we'll be playing then we'll be playing a hurt Washington team, no Ertz, maybe Jaden Daniels is back. I think, listen, we should on paper, with or without Hurts, be able to beat the Raiders. So let's be honest. Why not give Tanner McKee a shot and let's see what he can do? Maybe he's
because here's the thing. I mean, so if Tanner McKee starts against the worst team in football and throws for 450 yards and 5 touchdowns and no picks, now all of a sudden you have a quarterback controversy.
that would be a great problem to have. Let's see it. I don't think you do. I think you give. Excuse me 1 second.
Yep.
People should not call during the show.
No.
I think you got to give him a shot. I think we got to change something. And this whole Sirianni's footprint is more on the offensive game plan this week. Blah blah blah. Okay, where did what happened? I saw Jalen forcing balls he hadn't been forcing before. It's almost like he may say, "I don't hear the haters, and I don't hear this and hear that," but clearly, in at least 2 of those interceptions, those were forced balls he never should have thrown. And so I think he needs to take a mental and physical break. It's a long season. There's still time to go, including playoffs, to get back and get right. I don't see any downside of starting McKee and especially against a team like the Raiders, who we should be able to run all over to start with. But we can agree to disagree. But boy, yeah. I did not see a winning playoff or Super Bowl winning quarterback last night.
No, and I agree with you. And that's kind of like my biggest argument for that. It's what's going on around Jalen Hurts. So think about it this way. If you take the 2 Super Bowls against the Chiefs, right? Mm-hmm. In the first Super Bowl, he makes the one mistake where the ball slips out of his hand and it's a fumble. But other than that, he outplays Patrick Mahomes. He plays great. In the Super Bowl last year, he made the one where he got picked by one of the Chiefs players. But outside of that, he was great, right? So what's different now as compared to then? What's different is he had excellent play callers then. He had Shane Steichen and he had Kellen Moore. And when has he been really bad? The collapse in 2023 with Brian Johnson, who never called plays before. And this sort of mini collapse, we'll call it at this point, with a guy, Kevin Patullo, who's never called plays before. And I think that there's so much that goes into, what leads to bad football play. And look, I mean, part of my saying this is, look, Jalen, I don't see Jalen as a Peyton Manning or a Tom Brady or, a Patrick Mahomes or, during the healthy years, Aaron Rodgers. I don't think Jalen can just simply like put a team on his back and carry them, right? But I think he's a guy who, if everything around him is running like a well-oiled machine, obviously is good enough to win it all.
Yeah,
But
he's a system quarterback.
yeah, but the thing is like, how much of a difference is it, between going to the line and having 15 seconds to read the defense or try to read the defense, versus getting to the line when there's like 8 seconds left. I mean, like, I think that is a big deal. I'm not saying it happens every single time, but it happens more so than it should, and the other thing too, just like in terms of like play calling, I was listening to, who was it that was talking this morning? I can't remember exactly who. I think it was Seth Joyner. And Seth Joyner was basically saying, like, he doesn't understand that he doesn't understand why we don't have like a progression of plays. Like, so for example, first down, you run Saquon to the left side, he's tackled for a 1-yard gain. Okay. Now, what Seth was basically saying is that you should have 2 or 3 plays that when you line up, it looks like the exact same play, but it's a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
And so you use that first play to kind of set up the second play to fool the defense, right? And he's like, I don't see that happening at all. He said, this was another thing he said, and I'm going to actually watch this week. I'm going to watch Kevin Patullo with
Can I jump in? Can I jump in with a stat and then continue? So I just did a little search, and this supports your argument actually very well. It says in the 2025 NFL season, the Philadelphia Eagles has the lowest average time on the play clock when the ball is snapped, excluding no huddle plays at 5.3 seconds. This indicates the Eagles are consistently breaking the huddle and snapping the ball with very little time remaining on the play clock, a significant drop from their average of 7.8 seconds in the 2024 season. The NFL has had an NFL high number of plays snapped with 5 seconds or less on the play clock. The team has had an NFL high number of plays snapped with 5 seconds or less on the play clock. The slow process has been noted as a potential issue, as a rushed huddle break can sometimes leads to coordination and timing issues. Well, there you go.
I was amazing that you were able to find that. But did you use AI for that?
AI, baby, AI.
The world is changing.
The world is changing. That's right. So that totally, whether you felt it or you knew it in your bones or just your eyes don't lie, the eye test doesn't lie. Well, there you go. There's the metric.
Now, here's the other thing that Seth Joyner said that I thought was very interesting, and I'm going to watch for it this week because I have not really paid attention. He said, Seth says, when you watch these good teams play and you see the offensive coordinator or the coach who's calling the plays, they've got that sheet of paper, right? And what happens after each play? Pulls the marker out or the pencil out and writes something, right? He says, I haven't seen Kevin Patullo do that. And he said, what they're doing is they are marking off, this play worked, this play didn't work. So when it gets later in the game, and maybe you're struggling, you go back to something that works, right? Now, I do kind of find it hard to believe that he's not doing something like that, but maybe he's not. I don't know. Seth Joyner said it on national TV. So,
maybe someone up in the box is doing that. You don't know, but you're right. Or maybe, hey, we like this play, but add this wrinkle to it. Listen, I think there's no argument that the play calling has been subpar. Um, but it still doesn't change, my thought, albeit provocative, is I don't see a downside of giving the guy a week off against a 2-9 team or whatever the hell Vegas is. Make up an Aaron Nola injury. He's got a blister on his finger and he'll be out for a week. Whatever it is,
To save
honestly,
face.
yeah, to save face. But he definitely looks like a guy to me that just needs a minute. And it doesn't matter, if it's a 9-day layoff in between losses. It's not clicking for him. And listen, they don't pay me to make decisions or to get inside the guy's head. But I think the combination of all the above, the bad offensive line play, the offensive line was a little better last night. The play calling, the nonsense off the field stuff. I don't care who you are or how mentally strong you are. It's taking a toll on him, and it's clear in his play.
Mhm.
He's forcing
Yeah.
stuff that you know what? Last night, let's say that none of this stuff happened with AJ Brown, and everyone wasn't whining about he's got to throw the ball more and take some risks. I bet you that doesn't happen. I bet you we win that game, a close game,
Mhm.
and uh, he is clearly forcing stuff, and I don't know where that's coming from.
Oh yeah, he's definitely forcing it to AJ Brown.
Yeah.
Because he basically wants AJ Brown to shut up.
Well, he's forcing it to everyone. The interception, the last one of the game that went to was it John Dix or what's his name,
Ron
Dodson?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's clearly not seeing or he's forcing, and I hope for all of our sake that he figures it out and we figure it out and we can salvage a season. So
Yeah.
what did you see? How about this? Let's turn the tables, Schwabi. What did you see that gives you hope that we can turn this around?
What gives me hope?
Yeah.
Defense is just balls out, man.
Oof.
I mean, I'll tell you what, it's like I was thinking throughout the entire game, like, it's such a shame if we lose this game because the defense is just dominant. I mean, the
Don't you
defense
just love? Don't you
awesome.
love when Cooper just knocks that ball down from McConkey? And it was just like we were playing in the backyard type of. Don't try that stuff.
I love it. I mean, we had 7 sacks last night. I mean, Jordan Davis is just a man possessed this year.
Yeah.
Nakobe Dean, I know he did miss that one, but I mean, the guy is just, for a smaller guy, boy, does he have power.
Yeah.
Vaughn can rush sideline to sideline with anybody. We got a lot of guys who can, put pressure on the quarterback. I mean, overall, I think our secondary is pretty good. I mean, it's just a shame that we wasted that defensive effort like that. But that is a reason why, all we have to do is play average offense. We just got to be like a 15th best offense in the league out of 32 teams. And if we do that, we win these games easily.
And we're like, what, 22nd or 23rd, 24th,
right.
something like that in offense. Hey,
Now,
did you, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, I know you and I were sharing some texts about a little excitement of one of our favorite preseason draft picks playing last night, the Vanilla Gorilla, Ty Robinson. Didn't do much. 0 tackles, 0 sacks, 0 passes defended.
Actually, I don't know. Was he even in the game? I don't recall seeing him.
He did record an assisted tackle and a pass defended earlier in the game in October. So he didn't do much last night. He did play.
Okay. Well, he suited up. We don't really know.
He suited up. I don't know how many snaps he took. I'll have to ask AI later. But anyway, please. So you're encouraged by the defense, which I am too, right? 7 sacks, good defense, no Jalen Carter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they played really well without Jalen Carter. That's for sure. And look, I mean, I think that the issue with the defense is simply as good as they are. If they're on the field that many plays, eventually something's going to give. You know, like what was kind of a shame was on the last drive where the Chargers went down and kicked a field goal to send it to overtime. There was like a 3rd and 10 where Herbert threw a horrible pass to some guy, and they called Mitchell for a pass interference. I thought it was kind of a weak call. Right there, that's like 4th and 10. They probably win that game, but then that gave them life. But we do have to give Jalen some props for this. I don't know if you saw this. Are you aware that since they started recording stats like this, which they said started in 1970, Jalen Hurts,
great year, by the way. Yeah.
The year we were born.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is the only player in NFL history to turn the ball over twice
in the same play.
In one play.
that is an inauspicious stat. You don't want to be part of that stat. That's just talk about adding insult to injury. They got the ball back. I don't know.
I know. It's like, we got it back. Good.
Yeah, someone made a great play. I don't who forced the fumble to get the ball back before he fumbled again. Whatever it was a great play. Yeah. And you thought he had it back, and he didn't. I could swear that I've seen that happen sometime before. I guess we haven't.
Yeah, but I feel like I have too. But
it's just another reason to be like, just give the guy a break. You've said it. For injuries over the past couple of years, he's actually taken a couple games off, and he's come back playing just fine. So I don't think there's anything wrong with giving the guy a mental game off. Regardless of how you position it, and see what you got. We at some point, if you win the Super Bowl, you're going to need your backup quarterback to do something. We saw it last year. We've seen it on many different times and many different teams. But I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop now. I'm going to let it go. I've stated my piece.
Well, there's one last thing that we have to talk about.
Do tell.
We have to talk about the most important Philadelphia Eagle.
Oh, no. What are you doing to me here?
No, I got good news. So for those of you who haven't watched the show, last year, Rob, when we did a list of the most important Eagles, basically, if you lose this Eagle, you can't win anything. And you said Jake Elliott. Now, Jake Elliott has been
clutch.
Not great this year. Not great. I mean, it hasn't been awful, but he's been pretty
average,
subpar. But good news, solved the problem. Long snapper has been cut. Apparently, must have been the long snapper, not snapping it well. Timing might have been off. Maybe they're too high or too low. I don't know. But they're going to open up that practice window for the guy that was supposed to be the snapper who got injured this year, that Charlie Hewlett or whatever. Yeah. So I have a feeling it's all going to work out now.
Boy, I hope you're right. And I stand by Jake Elliott being an indispensable Eagle. I mean, listen, we saw it. We saw it last year in the playoffs and in the Super Bowl. He was clutch.
When it matters, he makes those kicks.
When it matters. Unfortunately, he's not making them this year. We could have used a couple of those this year. But the fact of the matter is this. We shouldn't, as a Super Bowl winning team with this whole offensive back, we shouldn't, it shouldn't even be close. And I get it. I get the argument and the defenders of Jalen, like he plays big in the big games, but I need to see him play big in the not big games too. And again, I think some of the passing game issues were definitely masked last year, regardless of who the play caller was, with just an all-time season by Saquon. And hey, listen, you said the defense gives you encouragement. Hey, I thought I saw life of our offensive line in the run game last night, right? Saquon finally broke one. So I think there's life there. I think we just got to go figure out, I guess we got to figure out the play calling or the execution of the play calling, whichever it is.
Yeah, one more piece of positivity.
Give it to me.
I saw that Lane Johnson might be close to returning.
Good.
So he could be back this week, if not this week, next week. We are 0-3 without Lane, which always seems to happen somehow. So, maybe getting him back makes a big difference.
He too was on my indispensable list, just for all you listeners out there. I'm not totally crazy.
Yeah, I think, and he was on mine as well. All right. So enough. We move on to the Raiders. no need to break it down. They're just the worst team in football. They better win this freaking game. Agreed?
Word. Next.
Okay. All right. We covered the
And
Phillies.
by the way, when is that game? Is it a Sunday game? It is
Thankfully it's a Sunday at 1:00 game. Thank God.
So for all of our listeners out there, maybe we find a way to
go
live right after the game. So
all right.
We'll let you know. We'll get some marketing and advertising out there ahead of the next game, and perhaps you can catch us when we are when just after the game is completed.
That's exactly right. So we are going to go live next week post game. You get us when we are most emotional, so it can be entertaining
and vulnerable. We can be vulnerable as well, right? You want to see the Grand Schwabini and Rube vulnerable?
Mm-hmm.
Check them out after a potential loss to the worst team in football, or excited to get back on the W ledger. You get to see us the opposite of vulnerable. You get us to see cocky again.
All right, so we talked Phillies. I think we covered that pretty well. Where would you like to take it next? Flyers, Sixers?
Well, you know what? Let's go Flyers next, because I think there's some positive things to talk about with those Philadelphia Flyers.
Okay, fire away.
Yeah. So with the loss of Forrester and of Cam York for a couple games, hopefully he's coming back tonight or the next game. We've won a game, and listen, we played the best team in hockey to a 1-goal game, and truth be told, I think we could have won that game. So I'm still encouraged by what I see for this team. From a positive perspective, Ziegler is still playing good hockey. Konechny playing good hockey. I would say 3 of the 4 lines are playing good hockey, even without one of our better scorers. And I like when I hear Tocchet speak, it seems like he's saying the right things. That I'd like to hear about where we are in the progress about building a winning culture in Philadelphia for the Flyers. So I think they're competitive. I think they're a good watch. But we got to score more goals. I think we're pretty close to the bottom of the league. I think what I read was like 81 goals, which is not so great. So got to go figure out a way to get more pucks on net. I think we got to figure out a way to get Michkov going. And I think this can still be a good season. So I'm encouraged by what I see by the Flyers this season, especially as compared to the last probably 5 years. What say you?
Yeah. I mean, I'm pleased with where they're at right now. They're competitive. They're better than they were last year. You see some growth out of the younger players. But I really liked the way they responded. After that Avalanche game, where they sort of kind of took the like, hey, there's no moral victories here. We feel like it's time to win now. So let's go out and we can beat anybody. Let's not, pat ourselves on the back because we played the best team in the league close.
Right.
So I like that mentality. And I think Tocchet's kind of instilling that in them. It's about winning and really nothing else. But, look, I think that they're going to have ups and downs. I don't really know where it's going. Like I said, I mean, there's like, at least it seems to me like if we wanted to give up Owen Tippett, we could have that Quinn Hughes like right now. And, that's a Selke award winner there. I say, look, I like Owen Tippett's game, but I think you got to give up a guy like Tippett to have like one of the top 3 defensemen in the league.
Yeah, I would agree. We spoke about this last week. You got to build from your blue line. I truly do believe that. Our defense is playing much better this year than it was last year. Our goaltending is better. And, the only fear I have with giving a guy like Tippett up is you're losing, I don't know, what is it, 40, 50 points a year, and we're already struggling to score goals. Where are the points going to come from?
Well, but here's the thing. I mean, I think at the same time, though, that's why I'm okay with making that move because I look at it as, next year we can insert Porter Martone, you know? So
Or
like,
sign a free agent.
what's that? Yeah, or sign a free agent, right? So,
Yeah.
you know, get somebody through another trade or something. So I kind of look at it as like, you can't pass up like upper echelon players for look. Now, I mean, I think Owen Tippett is actually a really skilled player. I mean, he's got a great shot.
He's
Um,
fast. He's
he's
super fast.
he's fast and he's tough. But at the same time, like let's be honest here, right? Like, he's a winger. Is he a top 25 winger in the league? Maybe he's if you really a big supporter of Owen Tippett, you could say maybe he's like in that 15 to 20 range, maybe. I gotta let him go for a top 3 defenseman. That's just the way I see it.
Yeah, if you get the opportunity, I agree. I think okay, here we go. I'm going to give you a little AI and Owen Tippett, and then I'll answer the question.
Okay.
Owen Tippett's ranking varies by source, but he's a strong sniper for the Flyers, rated an 84 overall in NHL 26, with high shot power, 88 miles an hour, 85th percentile, goal scoring 83%, da 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 da. Often a second line winger with good hit totals and potential if given more power play time. So listen, if you ask, this wasn't as good as the last AI, but if you ask NHL 26, they say he's in the top 85th percentile of wingers. So there you go. But here's what I think. I wouldn't have any problem with us going and building like a New Jersey Devils of like the 80s or 90s team where we are just stacked on the blue line and nobody scores goals and we go figure out how to go play transition hockey and score enough. So I would take that trade. I would take that trade 7 days a week and twice on Sunday if given the opportunity. Is it real? How real? What do your insiders say? What does HJ say?
Well, I don't know what HJ says, but he's probably talking to God right now. But for those of you who don't know what HJ stands for, it's Hockey Jesus. He's with our affiliate channel. So look, I mean, what I basically have read is that Hughes is available. The Flyers are very interested. Vancouver is very interested in Owen Tippett, and we've told them Tippett's not going anywhere.
Wow.
That's what I've learned from all the articles that I read.
Okay. Well, we shall see.
We shall see. Now,
we shall see. Go Flyboys.
Let's go over to the 76ers, who look, they're holding their heads above water.
13 and 10. 13 and 10.
13 and 10.
Yeah.
Let's do a little check on where Maxey is in the scoring title race. He is right now. He's still the third leading scorer in the NBA. Luka Doncic at number 1, 35.0 points a game. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 32.8. And Tyrese Maxey, 31.5.
We need to go get some players whose names end in IC. Don't you think?
Yeah. Right. And also, very interesting. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing, though. I thought I was looking at assists, but I was not. But he's playing well. VJ's playing well. It's the whole off again, on again thing with what's it? Oh, we got a real live update. The Flyers have just tied up the San Jose Sharks. Christian Dvorak with his 7th goal of the year, assisted by Trevor Zegras and Travis Konechny. both with their 17th assist of the year.
Okay, we'll take it.
It's 1-1. And I will tell you who is in net tonight. In net tonight is Vladar.
Oh, that's a W.
It kind of makes you feel like it's like Darth Vader or something.
Vladar. Hey man, as long as he keeps winning and stopping the puck from going in the net, that's fine with me.
Vladdy.
So yeah, the Sixers. Listen, it's kind of we don't have aspirations on winning any titles, but it is nice to see Paul George back playing some decent ball. It's good to see the kids playing well. What an exciting finish to the game last week with the tip in and then the block from Maxey. Do we have that on video?
No, I don't have that on video, but that was pretty sweet.
That was as good an ending to a Sixers game as I feel like I've seen in like decades. So
well,
listen,
the amazing thing was that Maxey got up so high to block that.
I think I just want to see him be consistent and play 82 games this year. And even if he's in the top 10 for scoring, top 5 for scoring, I think that's a win. We just gotta go figure out how to go build this team from the outside in. And I think we're gonna get what we're gonna get. We're gonna get some games where we're gonna be really happy. We're gonna get other games where it's just like the same old thing. Hopefully there's more of the former than the latter. So we'll see what happens. Not much more I can really say about the Sixers.
All right. Well, I think right now it is time for that portion of the show that we call What We're Watching. And you want to take a stab, Rube, at what this is all about?
Yeah,
by the way, Leslie says hooray. She loves this portion of the show.
No, that hooray was for Schwarber's back. That was
okay.
that was a
a little late on some things today.
That's okay. I need to be better. You know what? I'm gonna look at myself in the mirror after this show, Mark.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say, Rube, how can you be better? How can
I think
it starts with us. It starts with us, Mark.
I think we both need to do some self-scouting.
Yeah, then we'll do some self-scouting, and Lemmer, we will get to you earlier next time. Thank you for watching. We love you very, very much.
We're gonna have to look at the tape.
Well, we'll look at the tape. That's right. We should do a whole show just in colloquialisms.
Right.
So hey everyone, we've gotten great feedback on the show, and especially for what we do towards the end of every show. And as the Grand Schwabini said, we have a little segment called What We're Watching, where we take a break from Philadelphia professional sports and we give back to you, our audience, our loyal audience, and we give you some tips on what to watch. Right? I think we've all been through it, guys and gals. We sit down on an evening, maybe a Friday night. You're tired from a long week at work, and neither one of you wants to make a decision. In our house, it's what do you want to watch? Well, I don't know. What do you want to watch? And then we'll pan through Netflix and Prime and Paramount and HBO Max and Mark's favorite, Peacock.
Oh yeah.
And we can't come up with something we both want to watch. So we've created this segment to help you. Grand Schwabini and I, we go out, and each week we find a show, whether it's a movie, a series, a limited series, maybe sometimes a documentary. I don't know. And we give you our opinion of what we've watched. And so each week, we're going to give you a little tidbit to help you with those perhaps long Friday evenings where you can't decide what you want to watch. Say, listen, I saw the guys on the Sports Porch this week, and they recommended and gave 2 thumbs up for this show. Or perhaps we watched it and we said, don't bother. So with that as the backdrop, and I'm trying to get better at that pitch. I've learned a lot from the Grand
Very nicely done today, Rube.
Thank you. All right, I'm definitely going to watch the tape on that one. So why don't you start us off, Mark? What have you been watching?
Okay, so this weekend I went out and I watched a movie.
Oh, okay.
Wake Up Dead Man of the Knives Out series.
Ooh,
Have,
okay.
have you seen any of the Knives Out, the first
I
two?
I have. Very
Mhm.
enjoyable.
Yeah.
Hard to predict. Yeah.
So now the thing that's also great about this is it's a Netflix movie that was out in the theater, I think, for like 2 weeks, and then this coming Friday it goes live on Netflix.
Okay.
So you can watch it on Netflix basically end of this week.
Oh, there we
Um,
go. I can make my
and
own
I
popcorn.
and I have to say it was really good. I think it was actually better than the first two. Um, the cast is great. Obviously you've got Daniel Craig, who is, the inspector or whatever they call him. You've got Josh Brolin, who I think is a real good actor. He plays this Monsignor, um, who gets murdered, and then
Did you
they
just give it away?
well, somebody gets murdered. It's a whodunit.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Right. So, he gets murdered and you have to figure out who did it. You got Glenn Close is in it, who's
Ooh,
really good,
rabbit in a pot. Yeah.
and Mina Kunis is in it,
Ooh.
who's good in it as well. So it's a really good cast, and it was actually really quite an interesting whodunit with basically seeming like the perfect crime. Like, how could anybody have, got away with this murder? And of course, you get somebody like Daniel Craig, smoking a pipe, you got a pretty good shot,
Yeah. How
and
could you
so,
ever doubt James Bond would figure it out?
yeah. So yeah, I mean, like, it's one of those things where it's like, um, you just, that somebody did it, and you have some ideas about who maybe was involved, but, they present it in such a way that it's like, wow, like that was really hard to figure out, you know?
Did
So
you so let me ask
2
you
thumbs
this.
up.
If you're anything like Lemmer, she
Mhm,
always figures stuff out. And I know you probably do the same. Were you able
mhm.
to figure this one out? Did you guess or did you conclude the right conclusion? That was terrible language, but you get what I'm saying.
Not entirely. Like, I would say that I got part of it, but not all of it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and part of it, not all of it, and there were some surrounding pieces to it that I didn't figure out. So, yeah, there was I would be really amazed if anybody was able to figure out, like, the 5 main things that add up to everything,
Okay. All right. Good.
So,
That
yeah,
makes a good whodunit.
yeah, it sure does. Now, Rube, you took a step back in time,
I did.
and you spent time watching Denzel Washington, The Equalizer.
Hey, by the way, Amy May said, I am the predictor, Rob, not Mark. So
Oh,
Amy May, you know,
she
I don't doubt that.
she
She's
says that
very smart lady.
she is a senior and I am a junior. A senior
Ah,
predictor, a junior predictor.
okay,
And so
okay.
sometimes if I make a good prediction, she'll be like, "Oh, that was senior level." Like I'm improving or something.
She lifts you up. I like it.
Yeah, she does.
Yes, yes. So I've been one of my favorite genres of movie is the vigilante movie, right? Like when I was a kid, I loved the Charles Bronson vigilante movies. Last week we spoke about Statham in the Transporter,
Mhm,
and
mhm,
and this week, Equalizer is one of those movies you're just flipping through the channels and you have to stop and you have to watch it. It's
mhm.
kind of like Pitch Perfect for me. I'm kidding, but actually I'm not kidding. I love
That
Pitch
was
Perfect.
good. That caught me off guard.
I love Pitch Perfect. So the Equalizer, Denzel Washington, he plays a man who appears to live a very quiet life in I think in the Boston area and the suburbs, if you will, maybe in a different part of the city. I forget exactly where. And what you end up finding out about Denzel Washington is that he's got I don't know exactly what his background was, whether it was CIA or special ops or what have you, but the guy could kill just about anybody. Um, and the way in which he does it in almost kind of an OCD manner just makes for great entertainment. Like when something bad happens to somebody, you know that the perpetrator, will not go on living either a very good life or at all. And
Mhm.
so, Denzel Washington plays this role, and there's, I think, three equalizers.
Yeah,
And in
there's
this
three.
one, I think the original one is the best. And he essentially meets a young girl who is from Eastern Europe or Russia, who is clearly a prostitute, but probably against her will. And it talks about how the plot essentially is how Denzel ultimately saves her. And great action, great acting. Um, Denzel's awesome. And my favorite scene, not to give it all away, I would imagine that most of the audience has seen it, is when he goes into the office
Oh yeah.
upstairs at the
Oh
restaurant.
yeah.
That
Oh
that
yeah.
that's one of my all-time favorite scenes.
Is that kind of
So
like where he's like, "You've got 2 seconds," or something like that?
it's where he goes to the door, and
Yeah.
he locks it and unlocks it and locks it,
Yeah.
and all the
Mhm.
Russian guys are like kind of making fun of him,
Mhm.
and you know it was game over for all of them.
Mhm.
So Equalizer, the whole Equalizer series, thumbs up, two thumbs up, but the first one, I think, in my mind, is the best. So if you're looking for good action flick, vigilante type of flick, check out the Equalizer.
Vigilante justice.
Vigilante justice. Charles
Yes, yes.
Bronson incarnate.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us. Remember, go on to YouTube at Philadelphia Sports Porch, click on subscribe, go to X at Philly Porch, follow us. We're definitely making some headway. We got a lot of people watching or listening to the podcast, so we appreciate that. We appreciate your support. And look, we're not giving up on this Eagles season yet. So I'm gonna take us out with what we usually finish off with to put us in a state of positivity. Here we go.
Thanks.